Today we've got a house that I'm actually kind of excited to do this video. This is a really nuanced thing where we have a house that's in really great shape but has some very severe damage, but it's been repaired and there's some stuff I want to show you. But this was one of those ones that I've really had to connect a lot of dots and pay close attention to really see what was going on. I started off here. You know, I always start off like with the driveway. I wanted to see if the driveway was sloping into the garage or anything like that, to see if any moisture was getting in there. And the driveway's good. You can see how it's kind of dry right here. The slope's down, the water's going to run off here, and look, the grading around the house looks really good right here. It's positive. We have a downspout extension, so everything looked really good on this side, and I was like, okay, cool. You know, somebody knew what they were doing here. Around here, you'll notice there's a downhill slide from, you know, the slope of the grade from the road, but they kind of built up a berm right here, right where the walkway is. This is positively sloped right here. So this will actually keep the water running away from the house. Kind of swaled out a little bit. Nice job, guys. Came across here. I didn't really see any big problems. And I always work counterclockwise. So this was like the first area I got to. And when I got over to this side, this is where I saw my first foundation crack. And I saw this right here. It's just a vertical meandering crack, nothing real severe, right? I look at that, go, okay, a little bit of minor settlement. And then I worked my way down around this side. And right here was my first kind of red flag. We have a downspout dumping water right next to the foundation. And you can see this is very eroded out, right? And as I walked around to this corner, I noticed that we have kind of a bowl right here. This is all just an area where that water has been dumping out for a long time. And you can see, as evident right there, that this has been flowing right into this area right here for a very long time. And as you look right here, if I look up, you can see right there how that slopes down. Right here, it's kind of positively graded. Nice, that water's all gonna run down this hill. But then right there, it gets kind of negative and this all slopes in toward the house. Now, check this out. When you really look, let me back up a little bit, you can really start to see just how pronounced this is. From that corner, right here, all the way down, this is just a big bowl in the ground right here. That water has all been flowing down here, and you can see how bad these concrete steps are settled and sloped into the ground. And you can see that nice big gap right there. All right, so I made mental notes of all that stuff, but I still didn't see anything overly concerning here, because I still just see this, you know, minor vertical meandering crack. This is a reinforced concrete foundation, but when I saw that crack, I saw that crack, and I see that crack. I come over here, I see another crack. So what I'm seeing now is, instead of one big giant crack, I'm seeing a bunch of little cracks across here. Now, that tells me that the pressure of the settlement is relieving itself over a broader stretch of the foundation. Now, I'm thinking about doing another video on this Widowmaker up here, because there is literally nothing right about that at all, at all, at all. So I might as well just record it now. Baluster spacing too wide, 4x4 posts with ground to wood contact. Those are just in the ground. Nothing right about that. Those are way too tall to be using a 4x4. On top of that, those are just screwed into that rim joist right there for the structural support. There is nothing right about that at all. And then they're using this little 2x4 right here as a drop beam girder. A 2x4. All of the rail posts that you see up there are 2x4s. Not a double 2x4, literally just a 2x4. And then over here, there's like 2 ledger bolts, and those are bolted to the vinyl siding. All right, so that's a big bunch of nope. All right, I came around to the other corner of the house, and what do we see? Another downspout dumping water right next to the foundation. But where is that water flowing? You can see it. You can see like all the water flows right towards this corner, which is right where all that settlement was. So this all, like literally from that corner to this corner, is all just a big area of settlement. As I work my way up a little bit, we can see now a separation crack with a little differential gap. But I still didn't see anything that was like catastrophic. I didn't see anything that made me think there was like a major structural problem. So I wanted to go into the basement. So let's go in. All right, now when I came down into this basement, a lot of things changed. Now I always work counterclockwise, so I started over on this side. And the first thing that I noticed was this crack in the foundation here. And this is on that corner of the house that I showed you very first. That's where I saw that first crack. All right, this was my first major concern, is when I saw this slab settlement. And you can see how much. That is 1.25 inches right there, maybe 1.5 inches. And that slab settlement runs into that crack that goes all the way down this basement floor. All right, now these concrete slabs are separate from the foundation. The stem wall foundation, the poured concrete foundation, is poured first, and then they usually come in and then they pour the slab inside. This is essentially a thick concrete ground covering. This is actually not technically structurally part of the foundation. But that right there is still concerning, especially when I start to connect the dots with the rest of the foundation. As I worked my way across here, I was following this crack. I looked under here, and I saw efflorescence. Now, that efflorescence you see is coming up from the bottom of the slab. And then you got this crack right here that runs out to here. And this is where we are. This is that concrete steps. These are the concrete steps that are settled. And this is that super bad grade right here. So if you track this, if you track the water going in here under this slab, right over to here, right where that efflorescence is. Look at just a little bit of ground that's sloping toward the house and how much it actually affects it. And once I started connecting all the little dots, as I worked my way around to the other side of the house, guess what I found? Came in here, and look at that. There's a big concrete patch. And I can see 2 generations of patching here. You can see that the black, whatever the hell that is, looks like black spray paint, to be honest, but you can see where it looks like they either tried to repair it at some point, and then somebody came in and actually did it right. But that's a big epoxy patch that's also got a membrane, a soft rubber membrane over it. And frankly, I don't really see any issues here. I scanned all this with thermal imaging. I didn't really see any big problems. I came over here to this other side of the basement, and this was really nuanced. I noticed over here, like this doesn't look terrible at all, right? Like this looks like a very nice basement room. But I noticed up here that there was a gap, some cracking and some separation. And if you look real close, you'll see where they patched it right along here. So you can see another repair right there in the corner. You can see right up here where they've done some patching of the concrete. And as I run across this steel I-beam, even this column has been patched. You go all the way around it. Over here, more cracking. Now, here's the thing. These repairs are very well done. I actually don't see any major problems here. What I see is damage, and damage that's mostly been repaired. I don't see any water intrusion that's currently going on. I've scanned with thermal imaging like crazy in this place, and what I see is that all of this stuff that they did still didn't address the root cause. It didn't address the root cause. They fixed a lot of damage. They've firmed up this house very nicely. I don't have any major concerns here. I think the floor can be leveled out. I think all of this stuff is fine. I don't think the house has any major structural concerns currently. It's been stabilized. But they didn't fix the root cause. Until they fix this, and they stop that water from getting underneath this slab, I'm going to say that this whole back of the house, all the way around, is still the problem. And the crazy thing is, that problem can be solved with dirt. Dirt.